Schmoes Know presents HorrorFlix, a podcast covering all things horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers in the world of cinema. And now, here are your hosts, Cobbster and Cody.
What is going on, horror fans? Welcome back to another episode of HorrorFlix, a show that pretty much anything Ken Knapsack said in the beginning of this intro, that's what we talk about.
He really nailed that intro.
He nails it every
what this
single
show
week.
is about.
He actually comes to Orange County and
he
records it
down.
every single week.
The
that
same
man,
words every time.
He
Not
has
a change. He's
so
got
much
that
dedication.
down.
Like his tone, the pitch, everything is just nails it every
True
single time.
professional, that man.
So, yeah, we're here to talk about horror film, guys. Nothing much has been up lately. I mean, we went to Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Saw a couple movies.
Saw a couple movies here and
there.
But another thing is that we're on video.
Holy shit!
Yes.
What's up, guys?
We've been teasing it for so long. We weren't looking at you before, but now we can
We're looking
look
right
straight
into your eyes.
When you say something about him, we can address
goes
you.
right here.
We can look, we've got it set
still.
up. We've got everything. And look,
Yeah.
if you guys are just listening on iTunes, we appreciate it. It's still going to be a podcast, but we wanted to do something special for you guys, not just for October because it's the greatest month of all time, and considering that we're horror fans, that we want to present something nice for you guys during that time. But this is going to be a for sure thing. We're testing it out. And we're pretty much going to be doing video every single week.
Yeah. We have all these props here.
Yep.
We got the Camp Crystal Lake sign.
Everything.
We got the machete.
Machete.
We got Freddy's glove.
Freddy's gloves. We got hey, cheers, buddy.
Hey,
cheers.
man, thank you.
You deserve this.
You deserve this.
You deserve this.
Oh, man.
Okay, I deserve it. Fine. You take a
You're always
sip, then
asking, where's the foot? It's right here.
We found the
have
goddamn
the
foot, guys. We found the foot.
Woo!
And look, this isn't going to be the always said, like, we're going to change things up a bit. Obviously, like, that's crooked. It's going to bother the shit out of me.
It's not that crooked.
I think it's crooked. It's
How
crooked like
crooked?
your face.
If you're watching, comment below. How crooked is this sign?
No,
Is it
because
like
they're going to be talking
maybe
shit the whole time.
Maybe a 5% crooked? Or
If you're only listening on iTunes, there's a Camp Crystal Lake sign that we found at a Halloween store that I fell in love with that we needed to buy.
solid $14.99.
Don't tell them that.
I'm just saying it was a good deal.
Just because we don't want them to know we're rich.
sorry.
We're not rich.
We spent a lot of money on
So yeah, we're obviously
plastic
very
signs.
excited. We don't know what to do. Like what? Like
This is so
like,
weird.
I don't want to be out
Did
of
we
frame
dance?
too much. I think we dance a little bit.
I'm wearing a tie for you guys. Hope you know that.
He wore a
That's why.
tie.
This
I'm
is a
wearing all black.
festive occasion.
We're not wearing anything underneath.
No pants
So
whatsoever.
that's okay. So yeah, we're very excited, and we're going to be talking about a lot of great things today. Show's going to keep continuing. When we have guests, we'll figure that out. We'll figure all that stuff out. But if you didn't know, if this is your first time watching,
Hey, you
my
picked
name
a
is
great week to start.
Yeah, right. My name's Cobbster,
I'm Cody.
and we are the hosts of the show. Nobody else is, obviously.
No, it's our
just
damn
just
show,
us two.
all right?
So if you don't like our faces already, you can just watch. You can listen to us on iTunes.
Yeah.
And so every single week we talk about horror films, and because we love it, we're not fucking experts.
We
on
are
this
not
thing.
experts, but we have a damn
We are
good
not.
time talk. That's why I love doing the show, because the horror genre is arguably the most fun to talk about.
It
within
really
movies.
is. It's controversial, like many other things, but we like celebrating the ones that we love. And today we are going to be talking about iconic horror villains, movie
bad boys.
villains, the bad boys,
Good old
the bad of the
murderers.
bad. Not just the iconic ones either, but some of the ones that that are very
Good old
specific
under
towards
the
specific
radar.
movies.
We're most creative, stuff like that. We're looking forward to it.
So we're stoked about that. But first, we usually cover some bit of news. There's nothing really much going on, except M. Night Shyamalan tweeted out saying that James McAvoy is going to star in his next movie. And I love that. I'm very excited about that. What do you feel?
I'm very excited for this. We talked about The Visit last week. We both loved it a lot.
Yeah.
I love James McAvoy. If this is a classic Shyamalan type film, why wouldn't he fit?
I think that'd be great. And hopefully, there were rumors going around saying that Joaquin Phoenix may be in this movie too.
Yeah.
So that'd be really awesome.
Do we know any sort of premise yet?
Nothing. No.
Cool.
Except M. Night is directing it, so
Awesome.
God knows what that's going to be. But honestly, I'm very excited. Obviously we love The Visit, and we're excited to see what else he's going to bring to the table. Hopefully, he can stick to
Stay humble.
just stay humble
Don't
and just
swing
stay
for the fences. Go
you
for
know,
a
just
double.
Stay under the radar a little bit longer. Don't give him a big budget. Hopefully, he just takes that money he got from After Earth and does a similar thing to The Visit. It's got great actors. I would love to see James McAvoy and Joaquin Phoenix in a movie together. I think that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, but I love those guys, both of them.
Yeah, I love him too, like a brother.
I love them more than that.
Yes. So, that's. But it.
I was just staring. I was like, I love them more than that. I stare directly at the audience.
I don't think you
making
need
them
to
very
look
uncomfortable.
at them the whole entire
I'm
time.
staring at them.
Okay, whatever. So that pretty much covers it for news. I don't think there was. I
I can't think of anything else.
There was some shit going around about Exorcist being remade. I don't care.
I don't buy that first.
I don't buy it yet either.
No.
I'm sure one day it will be, but as for right now, they could suck a fart.
They could suck a fart.
They could suck a fart.
Right through that.
So let's get into our today's topic, man. I'm very excited. Obviously, sometimes what makes horror really great is a good villain. There's the
Most of the
iconic
time.
one. Some of their props you see on the table right meow, and
meow.
others that you can't see because they might not actually physically exist.
Oh,
so,
I see what you did
see
there.
what I did there?
Yeah.
Like ghosts.
Yeah.
Point out the joke.
I
You
saw.
got to point out the joke.
You don't have to. They're a smart audience. They know how jokes work.
Shut up.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, this is how this works. This is weird. I feel so weird being on video now. Okay. So, what is there a specific one you want to talk about first?
Look, I tried to be creative and think of like an under the radar one to show off my intelligence, but I can't pick because I'm a very smart guy, obviously. I couldn't pick one other than Freddy Krueger and me to be my favorite.
You want to start off with
I'm gonna start off with Freddy.
Fred?
Because
Good old
he's
Fred.
one of the most just insanely diabolical and just fucked up villains out there, yet he has so much fun doing what he does.
And plus,
I love the shit out of that.
And plus, like, when you look at a character like Freddy Krueger, as well as all the other villains like Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, some of what we'll actually get into in a little bit, they have so many movies to go off of that they have, like, extended lore behind them.
Yeah,
Whereas,
yeah.
like, some other villains that we'll be talking about may only have one film by them, and they can carry that one film just by having only one. Whereas
He's got
Freddy...
a whole franchise.
Freddy's got a whole entire franchise behind him, and it's really, really incredible. And... not only that, he's one of the few villains. Like, if you look at Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, they're great, but they've almost got no personality. And I don't mean they've got stature.
I see what
they've
you mean.
got
They just
style
kind of
behind
just
them.
stand there.
They
and
just
stand
stand there and walk.
menacingly.
Freddy has a voice.
Freddy's
and
just
fucking
what a fun character.
Robert Englund like makes that character so brilliantly well.
Absolutely.
And it's some of the lines like "It's prime time, bitch." Like that was just one line on the spot.
Prime time,
If you hear that, that's the AC. Sorry. That's blame him.
Don't
like,
blame me for the
blame
AC,
him.
guys.
If you
It's
watch the
not
Schmoes the
my
Movie Show,
fault.
it's his fault.
We've reported it, guys. I'm sorry. We're trying to get the AC fixed.
And so, yeah, and just the iconic glove is just brilliant enough. His whole backstory is really incredible. I mean, talk about it like I think what they tried doing in the remake is making his character a little bit more sympathetic by showing a. I wouldn't even say sympathetic,
But it
no,
didn't work at all.
No, it didn't work at all for me.
No.
But I love Freddy Krueger. I love the style of him. I love the Christmas sweater, the hat, everything about him. What would you say is your favorite moment from like Freddy's anything that Freddy has ever done?
Favorite moment. It's got to be the iconic scene where he's going through the wall.
Going through the wall?
Like when he's just like, getting ready to strike, and then,
he comes
such
right back
an
up.
iconic moment for me. I know it's not his funniest one, but it's not necessarily the best. The funniest one isn't the best one. I'm saying it's the most scariest part. For me, I'd
Right.
say.
What would you say is the funniest moment? I love the primetime bitch one.
Which one's the one where he's the nurse? He pretends to be the nurse. He's like,
I think
what's
that's-
wrong, Billy? And he's like,
Is it Billy?
It might
Or
be
you should say
Billy.
it?
Billy.
Come in closer.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Come. I just want you to be closer near me.
I'm a little scared.
I think that might be the third one.
Okay.
Because I think they're in a hospital now.
can't
Is that the one?
remember.
with the
Yeah,
syringe?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. With Freddy, I gotta love Freddy.
Love Freddy.
Can you try to do his laugh?
No, I'm not going to try to do
Okay,
that. I'm
fine,
sorry.
Whatever. Anybody? How about we have a Facebook page, guys? If you guys didn't know that, it's facebook.com/HorrorFlix podcast. I think I've been saying it wrong for the longest time.
Oh, really? Is that
I
HorrorFlix
think it's
podcast?
HorrorFlix
I had no idea.
podcast. So if you've been going to facebook.com/HorrorFlix,
Who
it's
took
just
HorrorFlix?
it's literally horror space flicks. I don't know what it is.
Somebody
but
took that already?
Yeah, somebody actually did.
All right, one way. Tyler Myers, good friend of the show, says, my favorite horror movie villain is Freddy Krueger. Besides having a gruesome look to him, the dude has so much charm and charisma brought to us by the great Robert Englund that needs to be respected, even though he's killing innocent teens with his ultra-sharp razors in their dreams, which is also what makes Freddy so unique. You think going to sleep would be the best way to be rid of your fears when it turns out that's where your fears begin and end. When a character like Freddy Krueger can terrify and murder you in what's supposed to be the safest place possible, in your dreams, that's a villain that definitely belongs to the top of the horror villain food chain. Holy sweet fresh meat. Terrible impression.
Fresh meat.
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it
Sorry.
right there. No, yeah, I absolutely. I love Freddy. Probably the top. What I think we should do, maybe like in the future, maybe we can have like a week-long tournament of like the best villains, and just see who you guys would vote for would be the best one. I think that'd be
Like
very
a March
interesting.
Madness for villains. It'd be fun.
Yeah. So
Battle
thank
Royale.
You. Battle Royale. You've
Yeah.
been wanting to say that all day
Yeah.
long. Let's
Yeah.
move along. Let's
What's
go
yours?
to some. Let's go to some smaller ones. Not smaller ones, but not some of the main ones that we would think of. And one that comes to mind of a film that we talk about a lot is Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Hey,
Let's talk about
not a small movie, but I see what you mean as far as like not necessarily a cartoonish-esque villain.
If you went up there and you talked about like the biggest creatures or the biggest movie monsters, Jack Torrance wouldn't be like the first one.
Guy.
It's just yeah. And what I love about his character so much is that he's just so twisted. Like I was bringing this up to you earlier that I love this concept of like someone being born evil, because you're dealing with psychology. I'm a psych major. You know. What
for you.
What are you? Film.
Hey, I'm sorry. What are you doing with your degree?
How's that going?
Yeah, how's your degree going, asshole? Both of us are in the same place here.
I'm fucking applying it right now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, to this critical thinking here? Okay, sorry, go
listen,
on.
Sit and listen there.
Dick. All right,
fucking key grip.
Punch
okay.
Key grip.
Okay, no. So I love this concept of like someone being born evil. Like that gets tossed up around a lot when people are talking about like serial killers and mass murderers and all these things. Like, is someone actually born evil? And I think that concept applies really well with Jack Torrance, because it's like the thing with the Joker when he says like all you need is a little push. Mm-hmm. Like I essentially, and this isn't like what I really believe, but it's a kind of thing where I think everyone is born the same level of evilness and goodness, and then if they get that certain push,
you're saying the circumstances are what create them.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened with Jack Torrance. It's like he had that pit of evil in him the entire time, and then the Overlook Hotel was what actually pushed him into that further, if you will.
Yeah,
and I love that theory, and that just has him written all over it. And if you read the book for The Shining, Jack Torrance is a lot more of a sympathetic character, because there's a point in the book where he goes back and he tries to save Danny, but then he gets taken over again. That obviously doesn't happen in the movie. His character's his full-on arc is just pure evil, and it just keeps going down and downhill. Mm-hmm. But still, it's very effective in the movie, and it's just a sick and twisted character. Obviously played incredibly well by Jack Nicholson.
Good job,
and
sir.
It's just I love it so much.
I'm right there with you, dude. The Shining's one of my favorite horror films, and when you talk about movie villains, obviously you're gonna think of the monsters.
Yeah,
you brought this up before, but that's such a good alternative to that. I love Jack.
I think so.
Man.
Yeah, because it's also like that movie is supernatural-esque. But like literally only one thing that happens in the movie is actually supernatural.
Yeah.
That's when the door opens from the freezer.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a very real thing. It's cabin fever. It's what drives us to madness, being stuck in a place for so long. And sometimes for most people that's like the scariest thing of all. Not something you can actually see, but something that can actually chase you down because someone's been driven to insanity. So
well put, sir.
Thank you very much.
Nice,
I really like that movie a lot.
Nice. I'm going to bring up one that probably you didn't think of when we were doing this. How about Death from Final Destination?
Okay, I like that.
How about that?
I like
That's a fun
that.
one,
yeah.
right? It's just you can't escape that motherfucker. He's gonna get you every time.
And it's not like an actual physical thing. I think the first movie is the only one where they show like shadows of it.
Yeah, that's
true.
Do
they do that throughout the whole franchise? I can't remember.
I can recall. I've only watched the later ones maybe like once or twice when they came out.
Because I remember specifically like the scene where the teacher gets killed in the very beginning. You see in the reflection of the crock pot. It wasn't crock pot. She was making tea. She was making tea. And you see the reflection off that. I like that. That's really cool. And plus, it is something that you can't see either. It's just the shit, all the crazy ways they thought of to kill people. It just was incorporated.
What's your favorite Final Destination death? I'm trying to think.
There's so many. I personally think the first one is like the legit good movie.
Yeah, that's the best movie.
Second one's pretty decent too.
It's all right
because it continues it. Third and 4 and 5, like they're fun. They're just really fun movies. But if I gotta go favorite death scene in
I can tell you the most brutal death scene.
Which one?
From the first movie, The Shower. When it like wraps up around.
That's brutal. I can barely watch that scene. It's wait, that's a little
tough.
That's like I can see like the one dude who gets sliced in half.
Yeah.
Like I could see that any day over someone strangling to death because that's like
that was like a long
stuff.
and painful one.
Yeah.
It was just
But favorite death scene,
I take it. My favorite one is Sean William Scott.
Oh,
you're dead! You're dead!
And it just cuts back. I love it. It's so funny. It's so funny seeing him too. All he wanted to do was just see the Jets win the Super Bowl, and they've only won it one time. It's okay. It's okay. I love in the second one the premonition deaths. Oh,
just all on the highway.
On the highway, because when you actually see the cop.
The log?
Right before the log comes in, he's just like, fuck! It's so funny.
Every time I'm behind one of those bastards, I think like a pipe or something's on it. I'm like,
shit out of the way.
I've seen Final Destination 2.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's a good
one. But I like that. That's Death.
A good pick.
I think Death is a really great pick. Let's move along. Let's think of another one. Because we don't have any written down.
I got a list.
You got a list?
I'll do another one for you. I watched this the other day. I watched The Ring the other day.
I really did have some next time, whatever.
Is Samara? The little girl.
Samara.
I think that's a very interesting one because it's a really tragic story behind it.
Okay.
And she just, like, as terrifying as her scenes are, I just like the story. I don't know. Like, it's just a really effective way of, getting the scares out.
Yeah, I think so,
It feels more
too.
personal, I guess.
I wasn't a huge fan of The Ring as most other people were.
It doesn't age well, I don't think. But
I haven't seen it in a very long time. I know the second one
I watched it
wasn't
the other
that
day.
good.
There are some scenes that really do hold up.
I love there's actually one scene in that when they they're at the funeral of the first girl that had passed away from it, and the mother's telling how she found her daughter, and then it quickly cuts to the scene where she's in the closet and her face is just like, and it just tilts down. I think that face is probably like one of the creepiest faces in horror films for sure.
Then it gets repeated again at the end with the guy.
With the dude, and they just a quick little flash. Whew. I will say, after I saw that movie, there was some weird shit that happened. I remember specifically, I watched it in Vegas, and everyone was telling me that this is like the scariest movie that they've ever seen. And we all were sleeping upstairs, like on the floor. There was a bunch of us at the house, and then all of a sudden, one of the lights flickered on and off, and we heard something back from wherever it was. We're like, "Who's that?" And then I was just like, "It's nobody. It's nobody." I'm like, curling up in the fucking covers.
I remember this was back when there were sleepovers were a thing when I was a child. I had friends over. We watched The Ring. My mom was out of town, and no shit. As soon as the videotape ended on that, the phone in our house rang. She was checking. Yeah. She was just checking in on us. But like as soon as the videotape ended, the phone rings. We're like, "What the fuck?" And we just like we turned the movie off. We're like,
but
no.
like back to her character too. When she actually crawls out of the TV screen and she starts crawling towards them, it's pretty good. It's pretty creepy stuff.
I love the part at the end when she's like. When Naomi Watts is about to get away, and she's like, "Mommy," and she's like, "I'm not your fucking mommy," and then shuts it.
Shuts it.
That's good, man. I like
good
The Ring.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then it also reminds me a lot of Scary Movie 3. She's like 7 days. 7 days? What if it's a holiday?
Yeah.
He's like, that depends. What kind of holiday?
Yeah, it's like
no, because the kid in that movie, his name's Cody. He's like, I'm here for a collect call for Cody. Yeah. And he's like,
Scary Movie 3 is good, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like
there's some
Scary
moments
Movie
in it for sure. Scary Movie 4, on the other hand,
that's
not good.
No.
Let's talk about another character of a franchise that's pretty.
I almost knocked the foot over. Guys.
Where's the foot? You can actually see us say that now. That's right here. There it is. I'm gonna have to refill this up pretty soon.
Okay.
It's not soda or anything like that.
No.
It's poop. So this one I'm gonna bring up is Jigsaw. I love Jigsaw.
Good old calculating mastermind himself.
Yes, because you think about like a lot of the main villains that are out there. You think of Michael Myers, you think of Jason, you think of Freddy. This one pops up as one of those for me.
This one's interesting because he doesn't physically kill anybody. He has the traps. I mean, he creates the traps, obviously, and these are his doings, but he doesn't physically do it. That's interesting. He always leaves it up to them.
I remember seeing like the commercials for the first Saw. It's like, he's not killing anybody. It's the other way around. They're killing themselves, but he's the one setting it up. And that's such a really great concept. And as the movies progress over time, things change up a little bit, where Jigsaw isn't just a person anymore. It's more like Batman. It's like Batman. It's the name, it's the legacy of that person. And for some, maybe like you weren't a big fan of that change. Neither was I, granted, but I do enjoy most of the films except for the seventh one. I really can't stand the seventh one at all. But that character is very unique and very interesting. And I won't spoil anything. I'm pretty sure everyone's, especially if you're watching this show, I would assume that you've seen all of them. You know the kind of what happens throughout the movie.
The story, yeah.
But another really great villain of this whole series is Detective Hoffman, who essentially takes over the role as Jigsaw.
Costas Mandela, the actor's name.
Is it Hoffman? It is Hoffman, right?
Yeah,
or is Hoffman the good guy detective who takes over?
I think Hoffman's the good guy.
Okay.
The villain.
Isn't it? That guy kind of looks like James Remar.
Yeah.
I think they're brothers. Maybe they're not. Who cares? But I really like his character a lot too. And it just kind of taking over the mantle. And then obviously Jigsaw. What's Jigsaw? John? What's Jigsaw's real name?
John.
Connor.
John Connor.
John Carter from Mars.
John
Smith.
John.
Who knows?
It's John.
But his wife eventually becomes part of the villain as well too. And you got the iconic like puppet mask for him too, and that's kind of why it sticks out for me. Is like because he's not necessarily a slasher, but that's why he kind of goes up there. Like Saw, that franchise is like our modern like 80s and early 90s franchise that we've ever gotten. It's one of the last, I would say, even more successful ones because despite most of them not being really good, they're a lot of fun.
They're iconic, yeah. And Jigsaw is interesting because it's not. You said before how there's someone taking up the mantle all the time. It's not necessarily just one person all the time. It's more of an idea. And as far as the ones that everyone else is bringing up, I can't really think of one besides Jigsaw that really does that. So it's really interesting to hear. One that I really like that I believe some of you brought up in the comments, but I'll check it out later. The Xenomorph from Alien.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, come on.
Absolutely. I love Xenomorph. I mean, and talk about like just a ruthless killer. There's
He's fucking indestructible.
Nothing emotional, nothing behind it that you could say, "Oh, I feel sorry for that." Nope, not at all. This is
just there to
lethal killer. The not just the Xenomorph, but I mean, would that be called the whole alien species? Because then there's still the face hugger. There's the mini Xenomorph.
He's the main villain though of the series.
True, but I'm just saying, like, is that
one.
what the whole alien species is called, the Xenomorphs?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
we all know what we're referring to, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I love it too, because as much as I didn't like Alien versus Predator, I like some of the style that they made for them. They almost made them like Velociraptors at one point.
Speaking of Alien versus Predator, the maze at Universal Horror Nights.
Oh, that's what we forgot to talk
about. Was fantastic.
Yeah, we went to Halloween Horror Nights. It was a lot of fun. Just a sidetrack. I can't. That's what. No. I'm hitting you.
Oh, I thought you wanted a high five.
No, I don't want a high five from you. Don't touch me with that filthy
hand. What are you hit me for?
Because you were shut up. So we went to Halloween Horror Nights, and it was actually a lot of fun. We went on most of the mazes except for like 2. Just throwing them under the bus.
I'm just a fucking piece of shit, apparently.
You are.
Okay.
Don't make sure this fucking AC doesn't turn on. Damn it.
Podcast, okay?
Maybe there's the third person here you didn't know about.
Whatever.
So it was a lot of fun. Favorite maze.
Favorite maze. This is the end.
This is the end. Was really fun.
It wasn't just funny and creative. It was actually like really effective. Like Ace got the scared.
Yeah. Ace got pretty scared of that one too. My favorite maze. I actually really like the Crimson Peak maze a lot. Even though we've already seen all the creatures now from the movie, essentially. So. But the aliens versus Predator one was really good.
That one got the guy playing the alien actually touched me.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
He reached
and
out
Cody got a little wet.
Because they're not supposed. I did not get wet. They're not supposed to touch you there. And
Noted.
He totally grabbed my shirt. I just want the world to know.
Wanted to make sure.
I did not get wet during that.
There were some waterworks going on too, though.
No. Yeah. Totally. Anyway.
Back to Xenomorph.
There was someone on Facebook that I found. Here we go. Joey Kressel.
Joey! See your name pop up right there. See that slate?
Hey.
I made that just for you, Joey. No, I made it for everybody.
Joey says, nothing beats the Xenomorph for me. Why? I'll tell you why. Just read the rest of the comment here. He says, first off, the design is terrifying by itself. In the films, it never seems like you can escape it. It's always going to be there to snatch you up and blow a massive hole through your head by either snatching you up in the air vents or through the floors. Ooh. And let's not forget the thing fucking bleeds acid. So even if you kill it, you better be far away or else you are going to be burning.
Yeah.
If you aren't scared of this thing, the vent scene in the first Alien, one of my all-time favorite films to this day, will make you afraid. I cannot wait to go through the AVP maze at Halloween Horror Nights this year because I missed it last year. It's awesome, Joey.
It really is. It's a lot of fun. The Predator designs are great too. And talk about a great self-defense mechanism for a creature is you bleed blood.
Fucking acid.
You kill it and it's going to spray. And it's shown in the movies that if you get too close, you're going to get sprayed in the face and it's going to hurt.
It's tough to beat that.
They got the little penis mouth.
No, keep doing that. Make this a GIF, guys, or GIF, whatever it is.
GIF? Yeah, is it GIF or GIF?
Is it GIF?
It's GIF.
Comment below. GIF or GIF? You decide.
Billy.
Next up.
What if I'm not done talking about Xenomorphs?
What? I thought you were done. You were doing the...
Predator.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
nice
I
segue.
really like Predator a lot. And I think Predator doesn't necessarily go under horror that much. The first one more so than the others. But I like the Predator a lot. It's freaky. It like the mask itself is cool. Take that thing off, and you see the...
It's got the...
And it looks fucking cool.
It's got the what? What was that?
What the hell are you? Yeah, I love Predator.
When it laughs and blows
and it just fucking blows up.
Predator's really interesting because it's not only terrifying, it's fucking smart. Mm-hmm. Like it's a calculating thing.
A predator.
Oh.
That's what it is.
I see.
They hunt... And they've got all those gadgets. They got shit to take care of them if they get hurt. I always like that scene where the predator's just chilling on the tree, and then he like I don't know what he's doing, but he like clamps like a chunk of skin on him, and he just screams really loud.
Oh yeah.
And they're brutal. I mean, they hang you upside down as you're naked. They'll pull your spine straight from your back and out through your skull, and they'll hang it up in front of you. They'll put it on their fucking bodies like it's their trophies and stuff. It's nasty.
Keep going.
And they got all their guns. Talk about their
the
guns.
guns.
That just really cool. Thanks for the machete.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go to another one here. Let's go to a Facebook one. This guy. I lost it. I lost it, and I lost it, guys. Hold on. I went to Facebook, not the photos.
See,
this guy, Nicholas Maglieri, says some of the horror villains who I feel don't get enough credit are Candyman, Pinhead, Samara, Samara, Bruce the Shark, and Buffalo. Oh, Bruce the Shark. That's incredible.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when his family comes back to haunt the family.
Yeah.
And because the shark was literally attacking people in Jaws: The Revenge. Just kidding. Go ahead.
And Buffalo Bill. He says, parentheses, everyone always wants to talk Hannibal, but he brings up Buffalo Bill. It's a good one.
Oh, okay.
To go with some of the more obvious answers, my favorite's a Jigsaw, The Thing. Oh, The Thing.
Oh,
Jack Torrance, and everyone's favorite, Freddy Krueger.
Okay. First, Candyman. Yes.
Good one.
That's what he says. He says Helen.
I can just listen to you do that for the entire show.
The entire show?
Yeah.
I love Candyman. I think that's such an underrated film. The first one, I haven't seen the other ones, but I love it. The brutality and design of his hook hand, where it's like part of his skin and there's blood and there's nails hanging out. And I've never been like afraid of
such
bees.
A family-friendly design.
It really is. I've never been afraid of bees until this fucking guy came into the picture. Tony Todd, who by the way was like he was in Final Destination.
Yeah, he plays. Yeah, he's the
it's like he's not Death, but he's like. I don't know.
He's like the mascot for the series. I guess.
That's true.
Yeah,
I guess you would say that.
I'm glad you brought up The Thing.
Yeah, I love
The
The
Thing's
Thing.
a good one.
Yeah, The Thing's
really
great.
beat that thing.
No, because you can't really beat that thing because you don't know where it's at really most of the time, and the design of that as well. So I believe it was Stan Winston who did the designs of those creatures, and they were very incredible, very gruesome. Obviously, they went all CGI in the newer one, which makes me a little upset, but I like that design of that creature because it's never the same. Yeah, it is, but it's not.
You can't track it down because you don't know what it looks like.
Well, yeah, but it is the same in the sense it's like, oh, if you saw it, you'd be like, okay, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But they're all different kinds of creatures. There's the one with the head and the two things pop out.
Yeah.
It could be someone just manipulating somebody's body into doing something else, you know? And the deformity of all their hands, and then even in the Thing, the prequel to The Thing.
Okay. Which thing you talking about?
The
new
prequel,
one.
the newer one, because they're all fucking called The Thing.
Oh, yeah, that
there was
that's
the
why
Thing,
I laughed.
The Thing, and then The Thing. The
Yeah.
third Thing is the video game, which was actually a sequel to the original, the 1982 Thing.
That's a lot of things.
And then there's the Thing from Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And so I love in the prequel Thing of when the two heads form together and they become that like walking creature, and then you see it burnt in the original 1982 version.
I would have loved if that was practical.
You know
it
what?
looked too fake to me for CGI.
I think they started shooting that movie, because I remember watching behind the scenes.
Yeah, I saw the suit.
Right?
They had the designs ready.
They actually had designs of the suit,
But in
and
the
then
film,
when
it didn't
you
look
watch the
anything
movie,
like that.
I think it was just one of the. I think it's one of those things like Jurassic World was the same way, where they had some stuff that were practical, and then they just glossed it over with
didn't
CGI.
work when they were trying to film. Maybe it just didn't work. Yeah.
But I don't understand this not doing practical stuff anymore, which makes me more excited for Krampus a lot more because he's going to be doing that. It's fine if you use CGI as long as you just mix the two. I mean, I just sound like a broken record. I could talk about that all day.
Good.
But The Thing definitely, even in the designs of the prequel, were really great too.
Yeah, totally.
One of the other names, Pinhead. Pinhead's really great too.
Pinhead.
I think Pinhead really doesn't get a lot of credit. You don't like Pinhead.
I'm not
You're not
crazy
a big
about
fan.
it. I've never been a big fan of the Hellraiser series. I'm just not.
God, the first one's so brutal.
It's creepy as
It
hell.
is so brutal.
But I don't know. He looks creepy. He's obviously a very, demented person.
Right.
He does a lot of fucked up shit. I'm just not a fan of the films.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I mean, he's a very monotoned, like, you will do this.
Yeah.
You will put that up your butt. I don't think he says that.
That's might be in the sequel.
That might be like when he goes to space. I think he went to space, right?
He did. Yeah, I remember we said that he didn't one time, and someone in the comments said he did.
Okay, he did.
So
go
he
to
did,
space.
according to you guys. We trust you guys.
No, but I think he just like. I love his realm, like his realms of like his little box that he has.
Yeah.
I think it's just very interesting. It's very unique.
The whole
design.
mythology behind it's very interesting.
And his little buddies, his little partners. What do they call
his little buddies?
What do they call the symbiotes? Something like
Something
that.
like that. That sounds right.
Something with the bites.
Yeah.
I think all the designs for them are very creepy as well. His little gang of merry men. But actually, one of them was a woman. I think one of them was a woman.
Merry people.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna bring up
really
one that is obviously one of the most iconic of all time. It's Frankenstein's monster, not Frankenstein.
Not
Guys, don't call him Frankenstein. The AC is back on. Frankenstein's monster. I love the whole I just love the Frankenstein story, man.
It's incredible. It really is. Have you
one of
read
my
the book? No, you Spark
Notes.
You fucking asshole.
No, actually, we were supposed to read it in high school, and I skimmed it.
You skimmed it?
I was a student in high school, man. No one ever reads the book.
I read that book twice.
You fucking nerd. Anyway,
go ahead, back it up. Back it up.
I can't back that up.
Go ahead.
I can't back it up. I love Frankenstein's mom.
Oh, I sit in Starbucks all day and I just read scripts.
I did not sit in Starbucks. That was one time.
Still one
and
time.
And I cranked out 20 pages that
Nerd.
day.
Yeah. Did that make the screen yet?
It's in development.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is that the one we're working on?
That's not the one we're working on. It's one I'm working on with somebody else that I've told you about.
There's a somebody else?
There's somebody else.
You son of a
I'm
bitch.
sorry.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Right? Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's
monster.
Okay. Yeah. They refer to him as the creature a lot in the book too.
Yeah, creature.
It's a very demented and tortured character because it's that whole thing of humanity. If somebody coming to life and we see them as a monster and they just want to be seen as everybody else, and
they can't have it.
They can't have it because just the deformity of how he
tragic
looks.
Story.
It very is a very tragic story because all he wants to do. I haven't seen the movie in fucking forever.
The original one.
Yeah, in a very very long time, and I need to go back and watch it. But
good.
I love just the whole back and forth and him getting revenge on Frankenstein for all that he had done for him, or to him rather. And Igor, fuck Igor. I don't like Igor. I've never liked Igor.
You have a built-up resentment towards Igor.
It's just because
I know he's not in the book, Cobbster.
That's probably why, and I'm not like that person either. Like I can watch Jurassic Park and read the book and just sit there and be like, okay, I know this isn't in the book. That's fine. But when it comes to Frankenstein, it's like
he's still an effective character in the films.
He's just like this all day.
Hey, master, my master. Could you fix my hump?
I don't know. I don't know. I just never been a fan of.
Okay.
I'd rather hang out with Pinhead than Igor.
No.
Igor would
Pinhead would be no fun at all.
Igor would be
trying
up
to like
on your
break
dick
the eyes with Pinhead.
Igor would just be like humping you like a little dog the entire time.
You can at least get like a restraint on Igor where he wouldn't come too far. But he seems like a fun guy.
At least Pinhead has chains.
These are the sort of critical conversations we have here on HorrorFlix.
Yeah, all the
insightful debates.
Let's take a quick break from the horror movie villains because we got a special treat for you guys.
Hey,
we're making this transition to video. Obviously, not everything is worked out, especially one particular element that I won't spoil yet that I want on this table at all times, and you know what it is.
Yep.
At least I hope you do.
Yep.
And I'm very excited. And obviously, all this, like a lot of this, is going to be changed up a lot. But what's also going to be really fun is that we're going to have fun segments throughout the show, and this one is a regular one that we've done in the past. It was called Netflix recommendation, but now it is called HorrorFlix and Kill.
You see, like Netflix and Chill. You guys see what we did there?
And I saw someone post
instead
that
of
too.
sex, it's like murder. Someone
had posted this too a couple times, I think, on our Facebook page with like Michael Myers and stuff. But what's going to be cool about this segment is that we're actually not going to be giving you the recommendation.
We're going to take a break.
We say we're going to take a break. We're just going to stop for a second, play the video, and then just continue on. Yeah. But she's been on the show before. She's really great. She knows her horror. She does a lot of Netflix stuff on schmozo.com. It is Stacey Howard.
Potty mouth herself.
There's a video. Yeah, she's gonna. Hopefully, she doesn't curse too much. There's a video gonna pop up. She's gonna tell you a recommendation. She's gonna score it, and then he'll come back to us. So, Stacey, take it away, as if you're live.
What's up, horror fans? I'm Stacey Howard, coming to you with my Netflix recommendation of the week, aka HorrorFlix and Kill. This week's movie is a horror comedy musical starring Meatloaf. Sold. There you go. I don't even need to tell you the rest of the details of the film because you know it's going to be entertaining. It might be his best works in Spice World, which is pretty great. The film is called Stage Fright, and the story surrounds a young girl starring in the revival of a musical that her mother starred in years earlier but was murdered on opening night. Minnie Driver plays the mom, and the show is called The Haunting of the Opera, basically an homage to the fact that she was one of the leads in the Phantom of the Opera movie a few years back. And the plot of the movie is actually very similar to Phantom of the Opera. A cloaked figure is haunting the cast and crew, and no one can figure out who it is, except for this time it's set in a camp, and Meatloaf plays the producer and camp director. Now, since it's a musical, it does have some musical numbers in it, but they don't sing for the majority of the time. It's mainly ensemble pieces, and it's got a great mixture of rock and opera throughout the film. And the child actors do a really good job of handling the film's sense of humor. It's got a very self-aware theme to it, basically making fun of the musical theater scene, and they do really well with handling a lot of the adult themes and jokes throughout the movie. Overall, it's very different than a lot of the horror comedies that I've seen, and it's got some great references to classic horror films like Friday the 13th, Hellraiser, Halloween, and Carrie, so fans of the genre will be able to pick that up. I would give it 3.2 out of 5 skulls, so check it out on Netflix and let us know what you think. See you next week. Bye!
Yeah, and then her finger, dude. Dude, her finger was like the size of my arm.
That's a big fucking finger.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much, Stacy, for sending us that video. Be sure to check out that movie. I love that movie, even though I don't know what she. I don't know.
I'm sure it's a good one.
I'm sure it's a good one. I don't know. Once we start getting the ball rolling on this, I'll know what she says, so we can say our thoughts about it. But thank you again. You guys be sure to follow her on Twitter, as you've seen back there.
Sorry.
We tried pulling off a little skit for you guys, a little sketch for you guys, but it didn't really work out too well. Let's get back into some horror movie villains, dude.
Yeah, you want to pick one?
Yeah, I got another one. This one comes from a Facebook comment that I will read. This one comes from Morgan Robinson. Morgan says, "It is impossible to have just one favorite, right? The most terrifying has to be Leatherface, or the whole family for that matter." And he says, "The one I love to watch is Michael Myers because the guy just keeps going, but Freddy's the one I always quote. It's not easy trying to figure this out." Yeah, I agree. It's not easy just to pick one. It's like saying, what's your favorite movie of all time? It's just, it really depends.
Not a fun discussion to have.
No, but talk about this one I can kind of maybe not sympathize for, but a little bit, because it's
there's story behind this one.
There is story behind it.
Well, understand it.
They try to make him almost the hero in Texas Chainsaw, like go get him, cuz.
Oh, one from a couple years ago.
Terrible way of doing that.
Is that the one with Trey Songz?
Yeah, yeah. Not good.
Not
but
good.
But I can feel sorry for him in the sense it's like it's not his fault he grew up with this fucked up cannibal family. And say what you will about the remake, but I love
remake's good.
The drill sergeant, the guy who played the sheriff. Yeah. I thought he was really great too. But the whole family dynamic is just really brutal. That this whole family will basically stop at nothing just to stop innocent tourists or maybe just annoying kids and trying to kill them and eat them all.
It's a perfect example earlier where you said with everyone stays the same, but it's the circumstances that bring them to where they are. You're onto something here, man. I love Leatherface. It's
psychology, bitch. I have the degree. I might not be using it, but I'm using it.
You're using it here.
I'm using it in here. Yeah, and plus, I love that he uses his victims' faces as a mask for himself.
That's so interesting to me.
It's creepy. It's disgusting.
He's just
that's filthy. That's I'm gonna write a letter. I'm gonna write a letter.
Issues 101 right there. He can't deal with his own face. So
yeah. I'd hang out with him.
He seems like a good guy.
He seems like fine. Just put the chainsaw down, or at least take the chains off, like how they do it at Horror Nights.
You can like hit me with a chainsaw.
That should be a movie we should do. We should do like a crazy maniac gets hired at Halloween Horror Nights and actually puts a chainsaw on it.
Oh, and he's like, they're
like, he's in the chainsaw.
Oh shit! What if like all the actual things at Horror Nights like came to life?
Oh, we talked about.
We thought like the zombie one.
Cool.
If actual zombies got out.
Like you go into a zombie
maze. We're copywriting this, by the way.
And they're just,
if Alien and Predator got out.
If everything came to, like, it could be like an opposite Night of the Museum where Halloween Horror Nights just comes to life and everyone just starts dying. That'd be really funny. I think that would be really great. So yeah, and plus you got the iconic chainsaw. You start hearing that thing you hear it rev and you're just like, fuck, run, bitch, run,
bitch, run.
Yeah. Good stuff. I love Leatherface, and perfect name because his face is leather. You got another one? The fucking plastic?
The plastic. It's ruining us all.
Freddy, Jesus Christ. Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees. Haven't talked about that wonderful talkative fella yet.
Poor guy. He just got some mommy issues. That's all he's got to really. Well, you know what? Let's talk about Mrs. Voorhees real quick.
Yeah.
Janet Voorhees. Just kidding. I don't think her name is Janet. Her name is
Is it Janet?
I don't think it's Janet. It's
Is it Linda?
It might just be
Margaret.
It might be Mrs. Voorhees.
Okay.
I'm gonna punch myself later for that. Okay. But talk about the mom first, because that's a twist I don't think anybody really saw. I think from the original movie, you pretty much thought it was going to be Jason the entire time, but it was his mother.
Would you prefer to if at the end Jason didn't come back? You know, like the end was like
when he popped up.
Yeah, it would just had it been a solo just with the mom.
You know what?
Obviously, you wouldn't have the franchise,
right?
But
you wouldn't have
as
the
a
franchise.
standalone, would that be an interesting?
I think as
idea?
a standalone, if it just ended with her floating on the river and it kind of like faded to black, I think that would have been really great. And if it was just that was the movie, like that's it, and like oh.
But then again, that scene is very iconic, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, and then that's when you see him, and I think that was like, oh, this movie made money, so we're gonna do more sequels and stuff. So, and obviously Jason comes in the picture, but I mean, talk about a mother who's it's understandable why she did the things that she did.
Yeah,
it really because I mean the kids they weren't paying attention to Jason when he went and drowned, and so she's coming back for revenge, and you really can't blame her. And plus, a lot of the characters in Friday the 13th aren't the most in-depth characters, so it's like when they die off, it's like, yeah, you probably got that coming to you, Kevin Bacon. You shouldn't have had sex.
Come on,
Shouldn't
Kevin.
have had sex.
Who do you think would win in a fight between Jason and Michael Myers if they're doing like sword fights and knife
If
fights?
there was,
If like it was a machete versus knife.
I feel like Jason's a lot stronger.
Think so?
Yeah, I
don't know,
totally
it'd be
think so.
interesting.
Well, I mean, well, granted, Mike is pretty strong too.
Oh,
like
Mikey.
when there's those scenes where he hangs from like the poles from above and he pulls himself up or he pulls himself down, and he squeezes a dude's. I mean, Jason did that same thing too.
Yeah. Let's bring up another one. We obviously talk about this franchise a lot. It's one of our favorites. Let's talk about Ghostface. Heyo, the Screen franchise. This one's interesting. It's like Jigsaw, where it can be literally anybody. It is anybody in all the movies. Ghostface is one. We were going to put up a Ghostface logo here, but we thought you'll see why we did that once we get more decorations up here. What do you think about Ghostface, Cobbster?
I love Ghostface because it's like the same thing. Is that what you just said? It's the same thing as like
Jigsaw, where it can be
Jigsaw,
multiple people. It's an
I like
idea.
it too. I mean, we can look at the individual villains from each movie, but you look at Ghostface overall, and it's very iconic. It's one of those simple things too, like how Michael Myers got his mask. He just got it from a Halloween store.
Yeah.
It's like there was no
even more
setup
creepy.
behind it.
Yeah.
It was just something that they sold, and then it became this huge thing. And you see him. I just watched Scream for the other day because I usually for October I'll watch like a movie every single day. And the first time you actually see him, and he turns around and he attacks Drew Barrymore, it's just fucking so cool. And you just see that face, and as the series went on, it almost made it a little bit more goofy, just because he's always falling down.
I kinda
Always
like that,
falling
though.
down.
He's not some indestructible.
That's true. He's
supernatural
human.
entity. He's just
But
a guy or a
He's,
girl.
he's always falling down, and
Yeah.
I love that they make fun of that in
Yeah.
Scary Movie. He's like, I gotta stop drinking. Like, it's just so good, so perfect. But yeah, I think it's a creepy figure overall. This the whole black, and then the knife that he uses. It's just a very simple hunting knife. But then you look at the individual villains. You've got Billy and Stu.
Billy.
Thank you. Then we got Mickey, and then Mrs. Loomis. The third one, you've got Roman, who ended up being Sydney's brother. And then in the fourth one, you had.
I don't remember the names.
I think her name was Emma.
No.
That's
the actress's name.
I
is
know
Emma.
that, but I think her name
Jill.
was Emma. Jill.
Jill,
Yeah, you're right.
and her boyfriend.
The kid from Signs.
It is the kid from Science.
Yeah,
it's
McCulkin.
It's not the main Culkin. It's
No.
it's the brother Culkin.
Billy McCulkin. Yeah.
Billy McCulkin.
But I like that. I like that they're all somehow interconnected to Sydney some way or another. You know, for the most part, it is all family or someone's like family members that does. You know, so you got Billy.
You're right.
It's Billy's
connected.
mom.
Yeah.
Sid's brother. Sid's niece.
They
So
gotta bring
it's all
Stu.
connected.
They gotta bring Stu back into that franchise somehow. Like
Stu.
Maybe
Oh yeah.
maybe
It'll be
a
fun.
brother or something. Like
Well,
someone's got to be brought back.
They
with
they
Stu.
originally he was originally supposed to come back as the villain in Scream 3.
That's right,
I don't
yeah.
know how they would have brought that in. I mean he could have survived the whole TV fall. Like that would have been interesting if he was in jail the whole time. And
He
maybe
was
got
grounded
out.
because his mom and dad are so mad at me. Sorry.
Don't hit me in the head with a phone, dick. Yeah. Out of all the Scream villains, your favorite besides Stu?
Fuck you.
Because I knew that's where you were gonna go with it.
Okay. I know the performance wasn't great, but I loved Jill in Scream 4. I loved the motivation behind it. I loved it.
I like the motivation, but she
The performance wasn't great though, so I
Yeah.
understand if people are rolling their eyes at me right now and flipping me off and writing really mean comments.
It was like
But
her performance was almost like EW kind of acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
I
just
totally
like,
get that.
oh fuck, I'm cool. I'm fucking cool.
I
all the time.
liked the Roman angle from Scream 3.
Yeah.
Even though Scream 3 is the weakest in the series, I like that.
I like that too because that's almost genuine too. That's almost a Mrs. Voorhees kind of thing where it's like, well, fuck, I understand that. Like he feels left out. But then again, he was the one that conspired with Stu and made that all happen and kind of pushed them into doing what they ended up doing in the very first movie. I love in Scream 3 when the whole reveal of Roman being the killer, and I love it when they have a conversation back and forth between him and Sid, and then it escalates and it gets more heated and heated. In the part where he's like fuck you, and she's like fuck you, and they start attacking each other.
Classic sibling rivalry right there.
I think it's such a badass little fight between those two.
That's a good one.
And I love that we're talking about. Well, maybe we'll eventually talk about heroes in horror films, but I love the progression of Sydney's character. How much more of like, I wouldn't even say like a badass, but more fearless she becomes. She's become
more hardened and just more accepting of what her life has become.
And because if you watch Scream 4, like she sees the killer killing somebody across the street, she runs.
She's
to the
not
house.
scared. She's fucking
she goes
motivated.
after
like,
it. You know?
And
I
completely
really
different
like
from the nervous teenager that was in the first film.
Yeah, a really great transition for her character. But I love Mickey the most.
Mickey, that's a good one.
See it coming. Like he's just so like Timmy the Elephant's so crazy in that movie.
I love that
guy. So I love that one. Let's see.
One.
We talked about Jason. Let's talk about Michael Myers. Duh.
Okay.
Michael Myers is dead, as Jason Hartnett said on HBO. H2O.
Where did he say it on HBO? What program? What movie did he say it on HBO?
I don't know.
Was it Project Greenlight where he said that?
No, what do you mean?
I'm messing with you because he said HBO. See what happened, guys?
You're fired.
That was okay. Fine.
Billy is gonna be.
I'm gonna look for comments.
No, I mean, Michael Myers is like you looked up a list of the most iconic horror movie villains, and Michael Myers was number 1. Am I correct?
Yes.
Michael Myers is probably arguably one of the most iconic horror villains and maybe even characters of all time. And we don't have to talk about his backstory because the first Halloween, when he's introduced to him, he's introduced as just pure evil. People are always asking, why is he the way he is? Why did he kill his sister? And Loomis, all the time, Dr. Loomis, right?
Yeah.
Well, Loomis.
Yeah.
Billy Loomis. And then Halloween Loomis.
No, whoa. That had to have been a reference.
It probably was.
That had to have been direct.
That had to have been a reference.
Okay.
They're connected some way,
that had to have been an
somehow.
homage.
I knew this, but it's like it just dawned on me right now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But Loomis, he always described Michael as just pure evil, and I love that because there's no explanation. If there's no explanation behind something, that's even scarier because it's like, how do you kill it? How do you find a resolution to it if you have nothing to back it up? If you have no information to back off of it? You can't
really escape Michael Myers unless you're living in a motorhome and you're just constantly driving because he can't catch up to you.
Yep,
but
that's true.
That's really it.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
I think it's very it's just it starts from when he was a kid and it obviously goes up and he just wants to kill his whole family. That's it.
That's all he wants to do.
He wants to kill his sister. He wants to kill his niece. Yeah. He wants the whole 9 yards and just nobody ever wants him to do it. And let's talk about that for a second, about how you can never escape him, and about villains and how they can just walk and you run away from them, and then they're right around the corner.
They just always have that sense where they know where you are. It's like a magnet.
It's so funny how you never really you just gotta sit down and sit back and like actually think about that and just how the fuck how do you do this?
That's what happens when you're pure evil.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you can just pop up out of nowhere. I mean, Freddy, it's one thing.
Those are the perks.
Freddy, it's one thing because he's in your dreams. He doesn't have to run after you. That's kind of the funny thing about
he's
Freddy.
He's
doing
wherever you
that
are.
because that's fun. That's what's feeding him.
That's why I love Freddy so much. Yeah,
and because he's cocky.
Yeah.
He's a cocky son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then you get to Michael and then Jason. They're just walking. Jason's the slowest freaking guy ever. Poor guy.
I would love to see like a track meet between Jason and Michael Myers.
Ooh, that would
who
be
would
pretty
win
good.
in like a 40-yard dash. The time
it'd be a 40-yard.
It'd be like a 20-second 40-yard dash.
I think between those two and a snail, the snail would win.
The snail would win?
I think the snail would win.
Interesting to see.
But I've always thought that was an interesting concept. That growing up and not actually being too fond of horror movies, actually being scared. When I was a kid, I mean, that was always the image. Like I would always hear people talking to me about these movies, and I haven't seen them. And they would always tell me, it's like, yeah, you can run away as far as you can, and then they're just going to pop up right in front of you no matter what. I always thought that was very creepy, and it's pretty effective, too.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We got one more Facebook comment who agrees with us here. Quentin Kelly says, Michael Myers, man, I remember when I was a young boy, my father sat me down and watched Halloween with me, and I loved it from the music to the outfit. The greatest of all time, my biggest memory was seeing Halloween Resurrection.
Gosh, trick or treat, motherfucker. Yeah, it's not a good movie, but I will sit.
It's fun as hell.
Of all these franchises, and despite how not good a lot of them are, I will sit through a lot of them. Like Friday the 13th, or like blockbusters for horror films because they're so much fun, and there's so much content for you to actually be able to sit there and actually watch. And then with the Halloween franchise, I think I would rather, God, this is terrible to say, I would rather watch Halloween Resurrection than the Halloween remake, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd at least enjoy myself.
Yeah, and look, I get the reincarnation of Michael Myers. It's just they almost made him. They tried to make him like more badass. Like you didn't need to make him.
It's not necessary at all.
It's not.
He's already Michael Myers.
He's like
already badass.
huge and he's buff, and for some reason they thought that was going to be scary. It just wasn't. And let's talk about that for a second. Let's bring that into this discussion about horror villains. Is the remakes of the reimagining of these characters that we loved and growing up with. I think the best one that they got right, despite not being a fan of the movie, is Friday the 13th.
That's what I was about to say. That one is at least faithful to the other films.
And no, it isn't.
I mean, as far as like personality.
Personality-wise,
I'm saying with the character.
Look,
I'm not
with the
saying
character,
the movie's faithful.
They definitely got it right in comparison to like Michael Myers and then Freddy Krueger. I'm sure. Did they remake Hellraiser? Or they did. They did
one recently.
They did recast him.
I didn't watch it. Yeah.
Okay. But you look at Jason and how they remade him. Yes, that's not really hard to mess up. You just put the mask over him.
That's true. You just kind of sit there and walk and
he
kill
was
people.
In the franchise before. He was already a big guy as it was. I think they just messed up Michael, just making him forcing it. It felt forced for Michael Myers in the remake.
Big. Yeah.
Friday the 13th, however, got it right to a certain extent. I did not like how Jason kidnaps the girl and keeps her.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Did not like
okay.
that aspect.
Yeah, sorry.
Because he's just
right.
he wouldn't do that. I mean, who's to say what he would do or would not? We're not him. But I'm just saying, throughout the whole fight, like that's not the Jason that we all know. And when they threw in the element that like she reminds him of his mother, that's okay. That's a little bit more understandable. But still, it's just I don't like that idea. He would kill him, especially in the trailers. If you watch the trailers for that remake, it shows a scene where he's got the bag over the head and he goes and he grabs the machete to stab her like in the face and it cuts away. They do that in the movie, but it's the girl that he kidnapped. So what did he do? Did he just? Oh
it's
shit!
Like,
You look
hold
like
on,
my mom.
I'm gonna stop all my force here.
And just
my massive forearms
and just tease us just for no reason. So So
okay,
of all
I see what you mean now,
of all those reincarnations, I think just Jason was done the bit. But like I said before, not really that hard to mess up. Let's go to another Facebook one. I've got one here that I think would be pretty funny to talk about. So this one comes from Christopher James. Leprechaun is up there as one of the worst horror villains. See how it started off so good.
You're so excited for that.
And then he also says, sorry, Mark Ellis, but Creature and Little Fucker, it was terrible.
Those movies are not good. I don't even have really
not even
too much
the first
fun.
One. If you
getting
look,
through
if you
those.
find Leprechaun, if you found him creepy, then sure. But I never thought it was creepy. I didn't even think it was like funny. It was just kind of like,
People can be like, oh, what about Chucky? I'm like, Chucky's at least scary.
The first two Chucky movies are really good.
Child's Play, yeah.
Very, very good. Child's Play, yeah. But Leprechaun is just hokey. It's just, it might be because I'm not a fan of fantasy, like at all, really. Like I like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not going to sit there and watch them as if like I were going to watch Star Wars or the Scream movies. But Leprechaun to me, just the first one, I'll give a pass. Like I'll sit through it. Just Jennifer Aniston and kind of the whole revealing of it all. You just throw throw shoes, just throw shoes in front of him. He'll start cleaning them, and then that's it. Just throw
Take
a
him
shit
to
ton
like
of shoes.
a Foot Locker, and he's good.
If the whole movie took place in a Foot Locker,
Or a
problem
Payless.
solved. Problem
Yeah,
solved. That's
exactly.
all you need to do.
Come on, guys. Think about this.
Damn, AC.
That was terrifying. Okay.
But you brought up Chucky, and I do like the character of Chucky a lot. Just because the personality behind it, Charles Lee Ray, is so interesting and fun and creepy in the first two. Third one,
Which is the
military
generally
one.
the case for all horror ones. They start out scary, and then they get more fun. And
I would think so. I would
is
definitely think
understandable.
so. But God, Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky are unwatchable. Just terrible. Like Chucky has sex with another doll, like two doll. Like it's.
We watched doll sex, guys.
And it's funny in Team America because they're not doing it on they're doing it on purpose just to make fun of that.
Yeah.
Not to they're being I don't know. It's just way too much.
Yeah, I don't know what they were going for.
But overall, I do like Chucky as a character. I think he's very unique and interesting, and I like that idea that he goes to a voodoo guy to get repossessed or possess himself.
Puts him
into
in
the
a
doll.
fucking child's toy.
Right.
That's great. I love Chucky. Good one.
We'll bring up a couple more, and then we'll wrap it up, and then we'll plug some stuff towards the end, and because we got some fun, exciting stuff coming on.
We do.
Let's talk about. Let's talk about the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Absolutely, one of your favorites.
One of my favorites
yeah.
for sure. I love this creature. I love the design of it because it almost, when I first saw this movie, it almost reminded me a lot of Freddy.
I can see that. Okay.
Maybe it might be the hat, but a little bit of the design too. It's almost like a Freddy. If Freddy had sex with the creature from the Black Lagoon, I think this is what it would look like.
Strange sexual intercourse that would be.
Yeah. Who's to say the creature from Black Lagoon wasn't a woman? It was probably a man.
Okay.
It was probably a man.
Way to figure that out.
But I like the design of it. I like his motives. Like he just needs to eat. Every 23 years for 23 days he comes out and eats. He's got the spread eagle wings going out. I really like the design of that, and he's almost just like the other iconic horror villains. He's just unstoppable. He will not stop until
you can't even kill him.
You can't even kill him.
You got to wait 20 years or whatever.
You got 23 days, and then the next 23 years he'll die off. It's like, how do you stop that? How do you, like, forever? I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the third one. And I think we've talked about this before, and the director said that they're going to get more into his backstory, which, hopefully it's not a lot. But I like to see them actually, like, kill it. And just like have it, it'd be a nice little trilogy.
There. Before we get out of here, I'm just gonna list off the ones I haven't mentioned yet, just so you guys aren't like, why didn't you mention this one?
And plus, there's guaranteed
plenty more.
There's gonna be so many that we didn't talk about.
We just ran out of time, so I'm going through all the ones we could. Damien from Omen. We talked about Predator. Ghostface, Chucky. Reagan from Exorcist.
The demon
that possesses.
What was his name?
I don't remember.
Babadook. No, Babadook.
Someone mentioned the Babadook in Facebook.
Babadook's a great villain because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demon from The Conjuring is really good. He's like Bathsheba or something like that.
Shiva Kamini?
No, it's not from the lead.
Shiva Kamini? Okay.
Okay. Norman Bates is a good one.
Oh, no, we got to talk about Norman Bates.
Okay, fine, we'll talk about Norman.
We got to talk about Norman Bates. Let's talk about another person who's got mommy issues. Alicia would kill us if we didn't talk about Norman Bates.
You guys didn't talk about Norman Bates.
That was a terrible Australian accent.
For a second, I thought you were going to say it was really good. And
what
I was like, oh,
was that?
I don't know.
Jesus,
I'm
man.
drunk off 7-Up.
That's terrible. You're awful. I'm going to stab you with
dick?
this plastic knife. Norman Bates, because you don't think he's the villain the entire movie until the reveal towards the end. And it's just, I love the last scene. Just nobody would think that I would hurt. Nobody would think that this person would hurt a fly. Yes. He dresses up as his mom. Talk about it like a great character. Like there's character. Jesus, we forgot another one that I'm going to bring up right after this, too.
Okay.
Talk about characters that you take the psychology of them and you break it down. It's like, this is someone that would actually exist. This is somebody that would be in real life and someone you would study, someone you would write a paper off of. And it's like purely that. It's just because of his mother and the things that he had been through and how much she put him through that he couldn't let her go. And that's just, it's just very, very creepy.
His mother. Yeah.
He keeps her alive, not alive, but he keeps her upstairs
there,
in a wig and a dress.
Love that reveal.
It's such a great reveal, and the picture, like the image of the skeletons, very, very creepy. But talk about somebody else's psychology.
Apologies to Alicia Malone for butchering that accent, by the way.
Yeah, she probably doesn't watch this, but that's okay. She's been on the show.
Yeah.
You brought up Buffalo Bill earlier. We got to bring up Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal the Cannibal. Talk about another character who is a psychologist or a psychiatrist, one of the two.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor. He's got a PhD.
Yeah.
He is another incredible villain too, because in the first movie he's not necessarily the villain. He's just that, when the rumors were going out about The Dark Knight Rises that Joker was still going to be alive, he was going to be a Hannibal character.
Yeah.
Like he is a villain, but he's not the main source. He's not the main target until
he steals
the
the
later
whole show.
films. And he steals and like in Silence of the Lambs, he's barely in the movie for like 10 minutes long. And that's when you know a villain is that great, is that you don't really pay attention to how much screen time they actually have. It's just how much they actually affect the screen time.
How much of an impact they make.
Yes, throughout the whole movie. And I think that's so incredible. Obviously, Anthony Hopkins is just a genius when it comes to that role. I love it so much. And just the fact that he is a cannibal makes it so creepy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Obviously Silence of the Lambs. I was going to say, what's your favorite Hannibal Lecter performance? That obviously sounds
obviously
Although
Silence of the
Hannibal
Lambs.
isn't terrible.
Hannibal isn't terrible. We actually just talked about that, I think, on Schmoes? Or no, we talked about that on Horror. We talked about that somewhere.
Yeah.
I actually and Red Dragon too.
Hannibal's interesting. He's like the full focus on that. You know what I mean? Like
yes, he is the main villain.
Yeah.
And then Red Dragon too. Red Dragon, the Tooth Fairy is another great villain too in that movie. Ray Fiennes. Ray Fiennes. That's Voldemort,
Ralph
right?
Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
Wait.
No.
Yeah, Ralph.
Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, Ralph.
Ralphie. That's another really great one too. I think the whole lore of the Hannibal series is really, really great. We need to, so many people have been asking us to watch that show and talk about it. We need to watch.
We
the show.
should, yeah.
Didn't it get canceled though?
I think it is canceled.
Maybe they'll bring.
We'll
I mean,
do the whole series.
yeah, we can watch most of it. I need to watch Bates
now.
Motel too. There's a lot of TV stuff. I know a lot of people have been asking for us to do TV stuff too, so maybe we'll dive into that. I watched The Following a little bit, but American Horror Story. American Horror Story is so hard for me to get into.
I can't.
I've heard so many great things about it, but just.
And you still watch Walking Dead. I kind of fell off, but I'm gonna try to get back into it this year.
Walking Dead got better. I'm not watching Fear the Walking Dead though.
No, I haven't really watched that at all.
Any other characters that we forgot? Possibly?
Dracula.
Oh yeah. Of course,
we can't really talk about it. Just Dracula is iconic.
Dracula is very iconic.
Yeah.
Too.
Wolfman.
Wolfman's
like
a really great one. I love the idea of just a werewolf in general because that's somebody you can't control that. I saw someone tweet the other day. Oh gosh, who was it? I apologize whoever tweeted this out, but like they tweeted out saying like if you bit a werewolf, do you become a werewolf? Like I think that's very interesting.
That's a neat question because is it like the
blood,
is it the venom or the blood?
The impact from the fangs. So
it's got to be the blood.
It's got to be. So you would imagine so.
Why would you bite a werewolf though?
I don't know. Why
like on acid or something?
Why are boobs good? That's just the thing.
All right. They just are.
They just are. But no, I like that idea of werewolves just in general because you're gonna come out once every month and just wreak havoc, eat anything in your way, and there's no way of stopping it. It's like I think you're gonna be interesting too if they did a werewolf movie and they somehow hid the fact that it was a full moon. Like you wouldn't know what day the full moon fell on. Would you still turn into a werewolf? It's very interesting. Or does the shine of the light come on to you? Remember, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. But yeah, the werewolf, Dracula, all great movie villains.
Nosferatu. Sex demon from Nosferatu is a good one.
Sex demon from what?
It Follows.
It Follows, yes, because that's another thing like the Babadook. It's like it's not a real thing. Where Babadook's way more metaphorical than anything. But I mean. I'm sure there's so many.
I'm just looking
through
the comments right now, seeing what else we forget. Let's see here. Reverend Kane from Poltergeist 2 and 3.
Okay, yeah.
From Nicole Hamilton. We talk about Pennywise yet?
No, we gotta talk. Okay, we'll talk about Pennywise and then
we'll wrap it up.
I'm sure there's so many out there that we forgot. We can maybe do a part 2 to this. Pennywise.
Hiya, Georgie. Would you like a balloon?
I have a balloon.
I love Tim Curry as Pennywise, and obviously the first part is a lot better. But I've never been afraid of clowns, and I think the reason why people are afraid of clowns is because of Pennywise.
Impact of it. Yeah.
It's probably because of Pennywise and seeing his fangs pop out.
That's the only clown I'm really afraid of.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of killer clowns from outer space. That's not scary to me. But I love that image of him with the brightness of all the colors in him and how like he's just deceiving behind that. He's very creepy. Like Freddy, he's very cocky. And he's not afraid of.
It's a real fun personality to go with it,
Yeah, he doesn't like silver either. So, I think that's a good wrap up for our horror movie.
We'll probably
do
a round 2 for this one day.
I think so.
This is a very stacked episode.
There's so many more out there. I think maybe the next one we can do is like underrated horror villains. or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was pretty good.
First video episode, guys.
Not too shabby. Hopefully, there's not too many things. Hopefully, the camera was recording most of the times.
I was checking. So embarrassing.
God, that would suck so bad. I've been checking though. It's been fine. If it ever cuts out, you just see pictures up here. It's because the camera was off, and we apologize for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are listening only, thank you so much for listening. At least you guys won't be interrupted by anything really via listen. Also. We have a Twitter handle now for HorrorFlix. You guys we didn't set it up yet. We did not set it up yet. But we do have a Twitter. It is right down below. If you see that, it was a little lower third. That's the name of it. Follow us on all those social media platforms. We would very much love it. We want to just make this thing as big and awesome as possible just for you guys, just because you guys are very much supportive to us. We love your guys' tweets, your reactions. Thank you all so much. Tell them about our YouTube and iTunes stuff.
All the support you guys get, we love it. We'd love even more though if you can. If you're on iTunes, go ahead and rate and comment. Get us up on those charts again. We're going to be on YouTube on the Smos No Podcast channel. Go ahead and like, comment, all that fun stuff. Just tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your family. Tell if you guys are horror fans, if you guys are friends with friends that are horror fans too, share it to them. comment on this video telling us your guys' favorite horror movie villains. Let's have a conversation. We'll get back to you guys in the comments too. We'll have conversations in there as well. We appreciate all your guys' support. We really really hope. Sorry, I thought I
Don't
knocked
fall out
something
of your
down.
chair.
We really hope you guys like this new change.
We're gonna have a lot more decorations.
Yeah. Especially by the time Halloween comes. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We hope you enjoy it. Let us know what you guys think about all of this stuff up here. If you guys want us to improve anything, we love all the positive criticism. Don't be saying about the air condition because it's going to get hot in here, and we'll do our best with that. But thank you guys so much for watching, so much for listening. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Cobbster15.
You can follow me at The Real Cody Hall.
And, yeah, that's going to be it, guys. So thank you. I love you all. Even you. Even though I don't like that you're drinking Mountain Dew. It's bad for you, but I love Mountain Dew. So thank you. Good night. Godspeed.
I got nothing.